Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome to everyone to the 48th meeting of the 7th Council of the Municipality of South Dundas. We are still meeting via WebEx and streaming live on Facebook Live. So far so good in this new method of communicating to our residents and having our open council meetings. We learned today that 2 people have passed away in the Eastern Ontario Health Unit area. So as much as COVID-19 didn't seem like a real thing to us, reality has hit hard today for 2 families. So I'd like to first of all call for a roll call of members of council, please.
Mayor Byvelds.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Gardner.
Here.
Councillor Lewis.
Here.
Councillor Wells. Councillor Wells.
Here.
CAO Garrity.
Here.
Treasurer McMillan.
Here.
Deputy Treasurer Mason.
Here.
Deputy Clerk Robert. Director of Transportation Heineman.
Here.
Director of Environmental Service Watson.
Here.
Fire Chief Morehouse.
Here.
EDO Hunter.
Here.
And Clerk Brunt. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to confirmation of agenda. Is there any additions, deletions, or amendments this evening from council? Madam Clerk?
Yes, we'd like to add an in-camera personal matters about an identifiable individual.
Okay. Seeing nothing more, any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof?
No.
Not hearing or seeing anything further, I'd like to call for the adoption of minutes, please.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gardner, second by Councillor Lewis, that the minutes of the 47th meeting of the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas be adopted as circulated.
Is there any discussion or questions on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote, please.
Mayor Byvelds.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner.
Yes.
Councillor Lewis.
Yes.
Councillor Mellon.
Yes.
Councillor Wells.
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll move on to no delegations or petitions tonight, so we'll move on to 7 action requests. 7A is ED 2020-02, the Morseburg Roundabout concept.
Moved by Councillor Mellon, second by Councillor Wells, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report ED 2020-02 to approve the combined concept of flagpoles with a sign for the Morseburg Roundabout at the corner of County Roads 2 and 31.
Rob, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. What you have before you is a report, culmination of work over the last number of months to solidify the concept for the roundabout as part of the Morseburg Streetscape project. This way we can get this onto the counties for the design and engineering of it. Initial concepts were provided back to council in the late fall. At that meeting, a number of concepts were developed, and the council determined that they wanted to hold a poll to show the public the concepts that were kind of selected by council. The determination of the poll, the majority, 194 people voted for a combination sign and flagpole combination in the middle of the roundabout. And attached to the report, council will see what I'm proposing is that we elevate the flagpoles and we have a circular concrete or brick circular pad, and that we put the word Morrisburg on that twice, one on one side and one on the other, and then the 3 flagpoles in the middle. So that's kind of, again, the concept that the public had indicated they'd like to see, and that's what I'd like to propose to council and get council's direction, so we can provide that onto the counties. I think it would look nice.
Thank you. Comments, questions, concerns? Deputy Mayor Gardner, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor Byveld. I think it's great that we got, I guess it's 380 people to participate online in that survey. Thanks for your additional concepts. The pictures look great, Rob. I think we can do something good. I don't have any other concerns other than once, if and when we get the price to see what that would cost. I know there's work being done on the Iroquois roundabout, but I know that some folks had some feedback about the state of the Iroquois roundabout. So maybe when we figure out costing for it, we can determine if we can do something similar in Iroquois. Like I said, I know some people are working on it, but it would be nice to have 2 matching roundabouts. That's my only comment.
You, Councilor Lewis.
First of all, it was nice. 194 people putting their word in. I like the concept, Rob. I think I would go myself personally more with the concrete over the brick, but that's only my personal feelings. Good work, and it looks good. Thank you.
Councilor Mellon.
Yeah, I got to echo Deputy comments also, and I guess when Rob, you said there's going to be, the sign would be Morrisburg on 2 sides. Are we going to have the east-west or coming from the north? Or we have 3 major, I guess, arteries, east-west on number 2 and then 31 coming in.
Yeah, what I'm proposing, Archie, is that, or sorry, Councillor Mellon, is that having Morrisburg twice on that, it would wrap around the whole. So it wouldn't matter which way you enter the roundabout, that you're going to see Morrisburg, no matter how you enter or exit.
I guess, yeah, that's a very good point. It is a roundabout. You're going to be going around. You should be able to see it. Thank you, Rob.
Councilor Wells.
No, I agree with my colleagues too on that. Actually, Councillor Mellon was asking a question exactly what I was thinking. Obviously, I would agree just 2 because it's a roundabout. Other than that, and as far as I'm glad, like, we had the survey, because I like that flag concept and the raised part of the concept being done. Another thing, like, I don't know, we talked about if we raise like have the flags up on, they could be on sonotubes or whatever, then the retaining wall could be done out of almost like a culture stone that you can incorporate Morrisburg, whether we did it out of some kind of metal or probably loom type thing that we won't have to maintain. I think would be a very good thing to add to that, Rob, when you're presenting that to the counties and stuff. And there was another thing was brought up at the meeting about putting the turf in there around. Myself, I would like to see if it would stay on and eliminate like grass look myself, but other than that, everything else is the flags, the signage, everything is exactly what I would have voted for myself. So again, good job. Thanks.
Okay, anything else from council? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in.
Mayor Byveld?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Next one is TS 2020-01. RFT number TS 20-06, roadside grass and weed cutting.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gardner, second by Councillor Wells, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report TS 2020-01 to award the tender for roadside grass and weed cutting to Sean Hamilton for the price of $58.50 per hour plus HST for 2020, $58.75 per hour plus HST for 2021, and $58.95 per hour plus HST for 2022.
Thank you. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So in front of you, you'll find the report for the roadside grass cutting for the next 3 years consecutively, 2020, 2021, and 2022. This contracted service will work alongside with our tractor and mower to maintain our roadside network for grass cutting in the countryside. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Start with Councillor Wells.
Yes, Jeff, I have a few. We allocated in the budget for 2020. 40,000 is based on, I'll say 2020, but does that just for Sean Hamilton's part, or does that include our tractor and expense as far as wages and maintaining our tractor and mower? That 40,000.
No, that 40,000 goes against contracts. So that would be part of Sean Hamilton's wages, but it also encompasses our roadside weed spraying program, which we do. It falls in line with in that cost as well.
And how much is the weed side for spraying each year, approximately, like give or take?
Oh, it's up in the 14,000 mark.
14,000.
So this year, or last year for 2019, our weed spraying program, we did the entire road network east of Chenette Road, kind of, if you use that as your benchmark. So it'd be Chenette Road over to 31 and then going east on the east side of Highway 31. So this year we're doing everything west of Chenette to encompass our roadside weed spraying.
Okay. And another thing, like I'm just doing the math here. So like the 13,000, so that'll put it down to 27,000. So roughly at 40,000, say if we take a medium $58 per hour, is 690 hours. So basically 17 weeks if you were to divide that by 40. So and the reason I'm asking this is just for next year's budget. Like maybe we can cut back on the budget because going by the next 3-year price, like these prices, very good prices. So basically my question with that 40,000, maybe we can save 10,000 off the roadside cutting next year. Hypothetically, that's what I'm getting at. Like I'm doing the math here.
We might very well be able to, Councillor Wells, but last year the grass refused to stop growing. So it just seemed like we kept going and going and going and we never got ahead of it. So yes, in a dry year, I'm hoping that we can definitely cut back, but I'm going to adjust as we feel fit. We work 40 hours a week and the tractor's moving. So yeah.
So, okay. I understand that. So if we take $58 an hour and that works out to 17 weeks, so to do the east side of the municipality of South Dundas from County Road 31 going east, that would take all 690 hours, even if the grass is mowing?
No, definitely not.
You're gonna watch how this is done. And we've had, like, which I've heard from you, like issues, not just this council before, how things are going. So I'm just saying, like with the rate we got at $58 per hour, is 690 hours is what I figured more and enough time to mow this, even if the grass is growing a lot.
No, you're definitely right. We will monitor it. We'll adjust it week by week. And we're definitely, once the grass is done, we're we're going to be done. So if we can save some money, I'm definitely going to try to save.
Because like I said before, with a lot of this stuff, like all our service contractors and obviously mowing is a service contract, that I like to see timesheet sign off, just not like on everything, just stop mowing. So if Sean comes up 40 hours, like it's okay, you guys check on him or wherever you have to check on him, sign off, and we keep a little closer tab on this stuff.
Definitely, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Mallon?
Just to clarify, Jeff, so out of that 40, 13,000, 14,000 will go for, go towards the weed spray program?
That's correct.
Now, when you look at the tenders, where'd it go? The difference in the equipment, like the difference, well, I'm glad we got a very competitive from Sean Hamilton. He gave us a very good price. I'm just, with the other two contractors, did you inspect the equipment as far as comparing apples to apples here?
No, I didn't. I hadn't got that far yet. So in front of you is the report. So once this is accepted, then I'll go and verify the equipment.
Because that, I think that might be a very good point to take into consideration, you know, the size of the tractor and the width of the mower and whatnot compared to the other two. You know, at $58 roughly is a very competitive price, but then you've got to be able to look at how many how many, I guess, you know, acres. I'm going to work in acres, how many acres a day he can do compared to the other one. If you're comparing a 5-foot mower to an 8-foot or 10-foot mower or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I think that'll have to be, I think we have to check on that very, make sure that the equipment on the price contract is up to stuff. And we're comparing apples to apples here. We may look at the cheaper price, but if depending on how many linear feet or whatever you want to call it, kilometer of road ditch you can do in an hour, you know, may make a substantial difference. Okay, so we're on the contractor that doing the mowing. Is he going to be working like the spraying is going to be? You said west of 31. Then is where last year I think the contractor was east of 31. Are we going to rotate that around, or do you know yet?
So are we talking about weed spraying or are we talking about grass cutting?
Grass cutting.
So grass cutting, the contractor does everything east of Highway 31. That is his designated area. And
we last year then.
Same as last year. And the municipality picks up everything on the west side.
All right. That's all I have right now, Mayor Bybels.
So Councillor Mellon, to answer your question, the equipment that was presented through Sean Hamilton was a Kubota tractor, and it's using a Kuhn 7-foot mower, which is equivalent to the size of mower that we're using right now.
Well, you know, I'm not questioning. You know, it's just you got to make sure that we're talking apples to apples between 58. You know, between the two tender amounts. But if we're in the ballpark, then by all means we can drive on.
Thank you. Councilor Lewis, please.
I think that's a very good price, Jeff. $58.50. That's fantastic. The only thing that I would have to say, because I did get a lot of complaints last year on the grass cutting about the corners, if we could maybe have these guys take corners back a little bit further. I know that I drove on some of these roads, and I was out on the road to see if there was anything coming or not. That was the only complaint that I got from last year. So maybe we take care of that right away. It'd be a great thing.
I'll definitely address it.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor Gardner, please.
Thanks, Mayor Roy Veltz. Yeah, good conversation regarding this. second what Councillor Lewis is saying. That was the complaint that I saw as well, was just the danger around the corner. So appreciate attention to that, and that's all I have to add.
Thank you. My question, Jeff, is will this be a firm 3-year contract? In other words, he'll be locked in doing it till 2022, and if he doesn't want to do it, there's penalties involved?
Yeah, we'll definitely address that. I've never had anybody quit on me, so that would be a first. But we will. There was not an out put in the contract per se to answer your question. So we'll definitely have to address it if that does happen.
Okay, so I've had experience on this council a number of years ago where we had a contractor locked in for 4 years and he walked away from the last 2. So that left us scrambling. So just lesson learned at that time was if someone wants to do a 3-year contract, he's got a 3-year contract.
Definitely.
Any other questions or concerns from council? And I'll call for the vote, please.
Mayor Byvelds,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Mellon,
Yes.
Councillor Wells,
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next one, TS 2020-02, RFT number TS 20-07, supply of granular.
moved by Councillor Mellon, second by Councillor Lewis, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report TS 2020-02 to award the tender for the supply of granular to Cornwall Gravel Company in the amounts of $10.95 per ton plus HST for the maintenance stone, $12.05 per ton plus HST for stone dust, and $11.95 per ton plus HST for crushed stone.
Jeff?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So in front of you, again, you'll find the report for the supply of granulars, which the municipality uses on a yearly basis. It was broken into 3 different parts, one being our summer maintenance stone for my gravel roads program. Secondly, it's the supply of stone dust for our winter maintenance program. And the third was the supply of 5/8 stone to 2 separate yards, Morseburg and Matilda, as a stockpiling process for when we incur water breaks and sewer breaks throughout the winter season. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Gardner, start.
Thanks, Mayor Byvelds. Quick question, Jeff. Is this one of the things that could possibly be beneficial if you piggybacked with the counties, or no?
No, it's not. No. Yeah, they don't, as far as it comes to that, they don't stockpile 5/8 stone, and they do not use stone dust for their winter mix.
Okay, just thought I'd double check.
Kind of on our own here.
Councilor Lewis?
Just one question, Jeff. Is there much difference in the price this year from last year? It seems pretty close to me.
Actually, there's not. Very comparable for the 5/8 stone for our maintenance program. Actually, that was a very good price that we received. And the other 2 went up very, very slightly. So, no, they're coming in.
I thought they went up slightly, but not really a lot. No, that's good. Thank you.
Councilor Mellon?
I have no questions, Mayor Byvelds.
Councilor Wells?
No, very good prices. I have no more questions, Mayor Byvelds.
Okay, thank you. I'll call the vote then, please.
Byvelds,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Mellon,
Yes.
Councillor Wells.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next report is TS 2020-03, RFQ number TS 20-19, asphalt pathways replacement.
Moved by Councillor Mellon, second by Deputy Mayor Gardner, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report TS 2020-03 to award the tender for asphalt pathway replacement to Cornwall Gravel Company in the amount of $132,650.10 plus HST.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So in front of you, you'll find the results for the asphalt pathways replacement. Back at budget time, we spoke about projects which we could do, and Iroquois Pathways was identified as one of them. So the project stipulated the removal of the existing asphalt, bringing some new 5/8 stone in to beef up the pathways, and applying a new layer of asphalt to better aid in the walking surface. Shannon could give us a little background on the Trillium side of things before I answer any questions, if you wish.
Okay, Shannon, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So as Council recalls, this is a Trillium grant that we received funding for back late last year. The project is $135,000 funded by the Trillium, with the municipality offsetting the difference. So seeing these prices come in low is a good thing, for certainly, but we want to make sure that we get the project done the right way. And I think having a little bit of extra money gives us that flexibility to make sure we get a final product that will last for years and years.
Okay, anything further, Jeff?
No, I just want to let you know that we did receive 7 bids, which was way more than what I expected, and they were all pretty comparable. So I was very pleased on the results.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll start with Councillor Wells this time, please.
Yeah, Jeff, there, I was surprised we got that many for bike path, but walking path. Questions about the extra stone. Right now, what is the base of that bike path or walking path right now for the granular array?
So right now, what's in there is 5/8 stone and a stone dust.
Councillor Wells, you need to mute in between because of the background noise. Sorry. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
So right now, the base is a 5/8 stone with a stone dust kind of mixture. So what I would like to do is, in the tender, it called for an additional 2 inches of 5/8 stone just to beef up the base. But seeing that the prices come in very competitive, I think it'd be beneficial to the municipality if we increase that 4 inches total of 5/8 stone. Just beefs up the base to allow for a better surface before we apply the asphalt.
Councillor Wells.
Okay, actually, you were going in and out there for whatever reason. What was the initial granularity? Like, is it only 4 inches underneath there now? Is there 8 inches? This bike path to start with.
I can't tell you that. The only thing I know is there's boulders coming up through it, so it can't be too. There can't be too much of a base. I was informed that Mr. Ross was instrumental in building that back numerous years ago. So if I was to do some test holes once we start the construction, I could give you a better answer.
Yeah, because as we all know, your base is the starting of your foundation. Like, what I would highly recommend, whatever money we have extra to go, definitely put as much stone on as we can, if we can use up what we got here to get a good base. And also, I don't know if there's any shots taken, because I know down closer to the campground building and the airport buildings, that's a lower area there. So maybe if some shots were taken through the municipality or whoever, like we set up a laser just to maybe put more stone in one area than the other, because lower, it's just common sense, which you already know. But I would like to utilize all the stone we can and get this, like Shannon said, make a path that's going to last. So before we just rush in and have them just dump stone and pack and go over it, we'll do a little homework and get shots taken there when we use the extra stone, just to make sure it's placed in the proper spots. So other than that, I don't think no, I'm good. Thanks, Jeff.
Councillor Mellon.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Byvells. Jeff, if we went from the 2-inch that's in the tender and up to the 4-inch, I did the math, looked at it, would we be looking at roughly $12,000 more? Or to go from 2 to 4?
If I was a betting man, I would say yes, but that'll come in as a change order because we're going outside of the initial scope. So they could change their prices depending what we ask. But you'll see the first 12,000 ton is at that cost. So would I say that the next 12,000 would be there? I want to say yes, but it could be a slight bit higher because of a change in work. That's all.
I do believe that if we can go with the 4-inch base over the 2-inch base. Now, Shannon, maybe you can answer this question. We have the 135 from the Trillium, which is basically the contract as it stands now. Is that correct? Plus, how much from Parkland Reserves? 75 from Parkland Reserves and 60,000 from taxation. What's the original budget? How it was broke down for budget for this year on this project?
Correct. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to ensure that we utilize the Trillium money first, and then whatever we need from the parkland and from taxation, we would allocate at that time.
I would go ahead with, I have no problem with the Parkland Reserve money, the taxation, the 60,000 from taxation. With everything going on with COVID-19 and whatnot, I would like to see us, if possible, we keep that 60,000, I guess, if you will, for a rainy day, which it seems to be raining today. If we can do the job, do it adequately, put the 4-inch base, and if I'm looking at this right, we shouldn't need even the 75,000 from Parkland, and we shouldn't need the 60,000 from taxation. Am I doing my math right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. We will, once we get the, as Jeff indicated, the change order, we will come back to council with the price for the additional. The one thing we need to keep in mind too, and the reason for a provisional for the additional asphalt is the Iroquois Waterfront Committee has been talking about putting some benches down there. So we might require a little bit of extra asphalt to put it where the benches are going to be. So we'll work with the Waterfront Committee to determine where they'd like them placed and what kind of benches.
Okay. I know we budgeted amounts coming out of Parkland and coming out of taxation. I just, if we can do it without the taxation portion to keep it for other causes that will be coming on in the next few months, great. But that's about all I have, Mayor Byvells.
Thank you. Councilor Lewis, please.
Jeff, if I remember back in the day, now I'm going back a few years. I believe whenever that walking / bicycle path was done, there was 4 inches of 5/8 stone compacted and a 2-inch of asphalt put over the top of that. If that will help you in any way, certainly use it. And I know down along the waterfront there is an awful lot of boulders coming up. At that time, I thought we had all the boulders, but I guess we didn't. But I like the way you're thinking. I really think the price is pretty good. Thank you.
Mayor Gardner, please.
Thanks, Mayor Byvelds. No, my cohorts have covered all my questions. I think it's fabulous. We have the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and it will be a nice addition to the waterfront in Iroquois. I imagine having a nice clean path after the path got so rough will increase the usage. So good news all the way around.
Thank you. And I will concur with council. Like adding base is always a good thing, Jeff. My other concern is making sure we remove as many boulders as we can, and hopefully the rest will stay down where they are. But I suspect that might be a challenge going forward. But let's improve what we've got. I'm sure it will be a great addition. I know that we've had some complaints in the past, and this should certainly help that. So Anything else from council? Yes, Councillor Wells.
Going by what you said there, Shannon, about donating these benches and stuff and the extra asphalt. We can't use asphalt for that. Like off the trail, if someone wants to donate a memorial bench or that, it's going to be a concrete slab that we aim for that bench to, not asphalt. Just so like we won't take that route. So it'll just be additional on concrete, but not asphalt. Thanks.
Okay, anything else? None, I'll call for the vote, please.
Mayor Byveld?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on, next report is FES 2020-02, the retrofit of Rescue 142, relocation to Williamsburg.
Moved by Councillor Lewis, second by Councillor Wells, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report FES 2020-02 to approve the quotation from Battle Shield Industries to perform the retrofit of Unit 142 in the amount of $49,000 plus HST.
Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We talked about doing this back at budget time. We had this unit in Iroquois that was no longer required at that particular station. There would be some retrofit needed to put the lockers into the new unit. I have reached out back to Battle Shield to make sure that their original quote, they would honor it, and they will, although prices have gone up. The other thing is, I think in today's climate, if we put it out to tender, that companies, I think, that would probably bid on it. One is Tebow down the east side of Montreal, and the other would be Dependable down west of Toronto. And then just due to the location of Battle Shield being nice and close for service and warranty, I'm recommending that we sole source this particular retrofit for $49,000 plus HST to Battle Shield Industries. Any questions?
I'll start with Deputy Mayor Gardner, please.
Thanks, Mayor Byveld. I don't have any questions.
You, Councillor Lewis.
No, I have no questions on this.
Councillor Mellon.
Well, yeah, so sometimes can be a little bit of a sore spot for me. Chief Morehouse, what exactly are we retrofitting that we need to take it to Battlefield? Like, I mean, what we're taking out, what's used as far as the fire department goes. Maybe walk me through how we need to take it to Battlefield to get the retrofit done without a. Maybe it's the best way, but I just have a little bit of an issue with sole sourcing and what if we can't do it locally, what needs to be done. But go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. So because the Williamsburg, most of the guys do not live in the particular village, the unit that we currently have carries all their bunker gear, whereas the other two stations, they're in lockers along the walls of the station. So we would have to add the 20 lockers to hold their gear on a portion of one side of that particular unit. So with some changes to the truck in the design on the interior and adding the 20 lockers that we need to hold the gear, that would make this truck feasible to then replace the truck that's in the current station.
The truck, I guess, that would be going to the water and sewer, Public Works and the water and sewer, does that need any major retrofit to make it workable?
That would be up to them. It's got lockers, they may cut out, but that would be up to Jeff and Dennis and what they need to do to that unit.
Okay, so that the 49,000 is just to retrofit the trucks for Williamsburg. It's not retrofitting the old truck from Williamsburg to water and sewer and public works.
No, because remember, it was what, 210,000, I believe, to buy a new truck to put it in there. And we were going to save $160,000 in the fleet reserve to go this route that we talked about back at budget time.
Okay, I thought it was part of that was to retrofit the old truck for the water and sewer and public works, and I was having a hard time with that one. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, Councilor Wells?
Yes, I agree with Councilor Mellon. Sourcing us out to one. And I'm first of all, I would want to see a complete breakdown, because like just it's a coincidence that we budget 50,000, they come in at 49,000. I want to see a complete breakdown what they're doing for 49,000, because if we're talking putting some lockers on one side of this thing and a little thing like, I have a hard time spending that much money, taxpayers' money, on something like that. Like we can go and buy lockers and screw them in there ourselves, put gear in, as far as I'm concerned. So before I would say yes to this, I would want to see a breakdown, Chief Morehouse, on exactly what they're doing to this. Not just say they're retrofit and a complete breakdown. And again, I'm not one, just especially at 50,000, just to give it to someone else. I sooner see it even during this COVID thing, company in Montreal or whatever. Like, I don't think the work that you just explained to me is even coming close to 50,000, unless I'm missing something. So in order for me to vote on this, I want to see a breakdown before I go down this road.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly share that with you. And I will send you kind of the drawings that we may have made. Time we can reshare those again.
Okay, anything further from any members of council? Seeing none, then I will call the vote then, please.
Mayor Byvelds,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Mellon,
No.
Councillor Wells.
No.
Motion passes. Okay, moving on. Next report is TR 2020-05, waiving penalty and interest.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gardner, second by Councillor Mellon, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report TR 2020-05 to waive the penalty and interest on all outstanding property tax accounts for the months May, June, July, and August 2020.
Sarah, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. At the last council meeting, council discussed options for providing more relief to our residents and business community by either waiving interest or reducing the interest rate. Since we're limited by the Municipal Act as to the kind of relief we can provide, in particular to businesses, my report recommends waiving interest for May through to August, with penalty and interest being charged again when the first installment is due for the final tax bill. With that said, if council is not in favor of waiving penalty and interest, there is the option of altering the rate to a lower percentage other than the 1.25% that's currently charged. For council's information, May interest would be just over $23,500. And my estimate, if we do proceed with waiving interest for the next 4 months, the lost revenue is estimated to be around $75,000. I'll answer any questions that council has.
Thank you. Start with Councillor Wells this time, please.
During these hard times, I know it's 75,000. I have no problem waiving the interest rate. It's helping all the landowners and taxpayers a little bit, so I'm good with it. Thank you.
Councillor Mellon.
I have no problem, Mayor Byvelds, with waiving the penalty and the interest. As I had mentioned earlier in that report, you know, the taxation money that was used for, or supposed to go to the sidewalk, you know, that's what I was, I guess, in the back of my mind thinking that that could help offset, you know, the estimated 75,000 in lost revenue, I guess, if you will, or the interest and interest penalty or late payment penalty. But no, I haven't got a problem waiving that right now. I guess, Sarah, the interest, it would start from September 1st, not, it wouldn't be going back, the interest would not be accumulated from May 1st, it would be from September 1st on?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't got any problem other than that, Mayor Byvells.
Thank you. Council Lewis, please.
I believe with the hard times that we're having right now, people have so Dundas, you know, with cutbacks on their jobs, they're losing their jobs. I think this year is a good thing to waive the taxes, give them a little bit of break because we all know we've seen it. So I definitely do not have a problem with this whatsoever.
Mayor Gardner.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been tough times and actually more importantly, unprecedented times. It's the least we can do.
Okay, so I'm going to be the outlier in this. And first of all, I will preface that by saying that I do concur with council that we are in definitely challenging times. We have businesses not making any money. We have people not making as much money, even with the government funding. There's still money there, but it's certainly in challenging times. However, in my research in the last day or two, we'd be the only municipality waiving all interest for this long. We'd be setting that one. I'd be comfortable with reducing the rate down to 0.25% per month, which is only 2.5% per annum. So it's a fairly reasonable rate. It encourages those who still have money to keep on paying. We have to recognize that everybody thought the date was April, and to the end we got to there. One of the questions I would have for our treasurer is what percentage of people have paid up, so she can think about that for a second. But if people had thought we were going to do this, we would probably have half our payments not even done. So we should have maybe thought of this a little earlier. I'm not comfortable with zero. I'm comfortable with 1/4 a month, and we are allowed to do that under municipal act from what from my research. So, Madam Treasurer, how much? Where are we percentage-wise in payments?
So right now, we currently have just over $1 million outstanding in current year taxes. Compared to, I guess, last year after the due date, we were just, where is that? We were just over that. So we're around the same, we're in around the same position as we were last year. We can, so like you said, we can reduce the interest rate per the municipal act. That is an option. And you're correct in that this would be the longest interest deferral in the area. South Stormont would be the only one that's comparable. They've waived for 4 months as well, but they've waived for April, May, June, and July.
Okay, so I'll go around council again. We'll just confirm the number. So Councillor Wells.
Okay. After hearing that, so basically what I'm gathering from that, everyone that paid their taxes last year at due date pretty much did it the same as this year, and the people that go by a little bit. So I would agree with Mayor Byvells. Like 1/4% was like 2 1/4 annual was like, that is more unfair. Considering I didn't actually do my homework as Mayor Byvells did as far as checking everything else out. But yes, I would, the 1/4%, I'm good with that. After hearing what you had to say, Sarah, about, I could see if it was like 3 million people's just not paying, but I think everyone's just basically the same as last year, and this will maybe give the initiative, like it's only a 1/4% for people that wants to defer it. Well, it's not free, but it's relief. So I'm good with that.
Councilor Mellon?
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to stick with the zero, waiving the interest in the penalty. I mean, I think the real hardship or the real financial crunch is going to come down the road in another month or two. Even though your suggestion, Mayor Byvells, is a very good one, I think the people in South Dundas are probably going to need every cent they can scratch together to keep going in a few weeks, few months. And so by waiving, I think that interest rate and the penalty, I think is going to help, and I think the real effect is going to be felt in a few more months. And by waiving it, I think it gives us a little bit, gives hopefully some people a little bit of breathing room, even though a quarter, your suggestion is very, it's reasonable, but I think I'll stick with my original.
Councilor Lewis?
I think for your information, and I thank you, sir, information, but I think that I'm gonna have to go to stick with Councillor Mellon, with my original say. I'm staying with the waiving.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Thanks, Mayor Byvelds. We've had conversations about the tax relief. Is there some flexibility if we do the 1/4%, but folks are having a really, really bad time and they can contact the office? Like, is there some flexibility with that, or no?
I don't have the power to waive interest for any particular. Most of the time, any waiving of interest would have to go through council and be a council decision. I have seen other municipalities give authorization to their treasurer to waive up to, say, $50 of fees in that case. But for the most part, you want to stay consistent and you either charge interest or you don't.
Okay. Where I struggle with this is I don't want to penalize the folks that are going to struggle in the next month or two, but I also don't want to penalize the folks that are paying their taxes on time, and not having the benefit. So I go back and forth. I guess at the end of the day, if there's no penalty, then I guess people can choose when they do it, and if there is a penalty. So it's too bad we don't have that flexibility to do a case by case. I don't know. I'm like right on the fence. It's a struggle. Is there any possibility to have a discussion about giving the treasurer a little bit of flexibility if somebody was really having some hard times? To waive, could we meet halfway? I mean, if they're going to take the action and actually call the office and talk to the treasurer about and get really personal with their situation, I think that I don't know, that might be a tool. I don't know what people's comfort level is with that, but I don't know. I mean, when I look at it and I see that folks like Service Ontario are basically saying you can drive around with an expired val tag, the situation's pretty dire. And I think it will continue to be dire as we go through this. So I'm going to side with waiving the interest rate.
Okay. Sarah, go ahead.
I will say I haven't had very many phone calls asking to waive interest. I've had 2 calls in regards to their PAP program. So what I've done in those instances is if they can't make their payment, if they've called in enough time, I've let them defer their payment for 1 month. So then we pick back up the following month, and then it just gets recalculated at June. So they are caught up to date by the end. But that's basically the only request I've had so far. I've had one request from a business, but like I've said before, I don't have a lot of flexibility there to provide relief for businesses.
Okay. Like I said, the 1/4% is not that big a deal for some, but for other people, it might be a really big deal. And let's face it, it's not business as usual. They're not getting quite the service that they have. So I would like to hold the penalty payments for a little longer.
Okay, anything else from any member of council at this time? So I will reiterate again that, I still think that a 1/4 would have been the right answer. Waiving it all just sets up, we won't get any money for the next 4 months, because why would you pay? So that will be the struggle. When is our next next payment the end of August, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so don't expect any money in between now and then, because why would you pay it? And that's your challenge. I think at a 1/4, it always gives that, you wouldn't keep the money in the bank because there's a payment. So anyway, I hear that the flavor councils to do that, and so we'll decide on vote, and then we'll go from there. So go ahead.
Mayor Byvelds,
No.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Mellon,
Yes.
Councillor Wells,
No.
Motion passes. So moving on to next report is CLK 2020-03, Bridges.
moved by Councillor Wells, second by Councillor Lewis, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report CLK 2020-03 to remove the 9 Mile and DeVries bridges, and that the road allowance in between Snowbird Road and County Road 5, known as DeVries Road, be declared surplus, stopped up, and closed and sold.
Okay, so Clerk Brunt, you're going to lead this?
I shall.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've been talking about the DeVries and 9 Mile bridges for a couple of years. And our Jeff and I have come to the conclusion we're requesting council to remove the 2 bridge decks, one at DeVries and one at 9 Mile. And the 9 Mile will be barricaded and as is now, with the signs remaining in place. But the DeVries we're asking to declare it surplus, advertise to stop up and close by social media and mail out. There is an owner on that road allowance that will take the whole road allowance. He's been approved by all his neighbors. There will be a survey done, and that'll take a couple of weeks because the road allowance is all on one PIN number and we have to separate it. We're not required to do an appraisal because it's a municipal road allowance. So we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anything further, Jeff?
I have nothing to add to this. This has been an ongoing struggle for both the clerk and myself. So I think this has come down to the best alternative.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with Deputy Mayor Gardner, please.
Thanks, Mayor Byvelds. Yeah, I like the solution of removing them. I think it gets them out of the way and puts an end to this discussion of many years.
Councilor Lewis?
Now, if I hear you right, Brenda, we will be removing both bridges.
Correct.
No, I think this is a great idea. Thank you.
Councilor Mellon?
Thank you, Mayor Byvelds. Yeah, this is something I've been advocating for now for a couple of years, particularly the DeVries Road Bridge. I'm going to start with the 9 Mile. 9 Mile Road Bridge, as far as a financial, we have a contractor said they'll remove both bridges for $7,500. And then there'll be a permit required in that for that one. But My flavor is to just leave the 9 Mile Bridge for this year. We budgeted for next year because this is an unbudgeted amount. And it's, you know, $3,750, maybe with the permit, we'd be looking at $4,000. But to leave the 9 Mile Bridge as is, because we don't need to close that road or anything else to do with that. The DeVries Road Bridge, as there is a low-level crossing in there put in by the farmer, the one landowner. I've been wanting to have this road closed because it is a major liability issue as far as I'm concerned for South Dundas and for our landowner. Brenda is right in the fact that the landowner has agreed to take over the road after we remove the bridge. The other landowners, in particular, the one landowner that has access, has to use that road for access to his land. He's in agreement to it too. I reached out to both those landowners today and just to see, and they're all in favor of it. The only issue I have, and in somehow or another we have to, as far as I'm concerned, put it on the title that goes with the transfer of that road to the new owner, is that the one landowner will have access, an easement right away, if you will, and you identify that parcel of land through the PIN number and a legal description. So the owner, not the current owner, but future owners as well, would still have access to land. There's the one chunk is about 50 acres, which is south of the South Branch, the bridge at it's the South Branch that's going over. Without that access going forward, that land is landlocked. The landowner is limited to, you know, if something happens down the road, the land, you know, wants to be turned over, sold, whatever. To me, it could impact the value or who could actually want to purchase that land. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is a win-win for the landowner that has a low-level crossing and for South Dundas to get rid of that liability issue. But I would still like to see some kind of legal agreement. It could be between the two landowners in question. They're getting along. They have no problem with this. But I would like to see us contact our legal counsel and to make sure that to find out if this could be an easement or this could be put on the title for the land of the road land when it's transferred over to the other owner, to make sure that one farmer has access to his land going down the road in case something happens.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Mellon, rest assured, we've already contacted the solicitor and it's in the works. So we're trying to figure out the proper wording and we will contact the landowners as well.
Okay, as long as, because the landowners are all in favor of this. They haven't got a problem with it, but then when I raised, this very point, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but things change and I think we need to, maybe it won't be our problem, but it is our problem. We're getting rid of a road, which is, to me, has been a thorn or a problem or potential problem for South Dundas. I don't want to load that problem on to somebody down the road in 5, 10 years, 15 years down the road. And handshake agreements just don't cut it anymore. So it has to be some kind of legal document. And thank you, Madam Clerk, for making sure that there will be some kind of legal wording in there.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Just a quick question, Archie or Councillor Mellon, with regards to the 9 Mile. I'm not sure if our contractor will come out for the one bridge. Maybe Jeff, you can shed some light on that, but I think he's given us the price for the two based on coming out because he's been doing one trip. I'm sure the price won't stay, cut in half for one bridge.
Jeff, any comment?
I would have to talk with the contractor, with Fast Eddie, to see what he suggests. But I think he kind of packaged it as a bundle deal. But again, I'll definitely call him if council wishes.
Anything further, Councilor Mellon?
Yeah, I mean, I would explore that option. If the contractor would say take the one bridge out for half the price, if you will, the 37.5 or 37.50, which is half of the 7,500, then that's the way I would go. Just leave 9 Mile. We can budget it and deal with it next year. We got to buy the permit from South Nation. That's another sore point. I reached out to them, I guess, in another note. I reached out to them, and they today to find out why we needed a permit. And well, anyway, it's a very inexpensive, I guess, relatively inexpensive permit. And North Dundas and South Stormont had to go through that same process when they removed the bridge to get the permit. It's just a one-page letter basically submitted by the contractor. But I would reach out if the contractor would take the one bridge for half of the 75, and we can budget 9 Mile for next year. That's the road I would go on 9 Mile Road Bridge, and the other one, I'm good with it. It's something that we need to do as long as there's some kind of legal protection in there for the landowners, both landowners involved. That's all for now.
Councilor Wells.
Yeah, well, I agree with Councilor Mellon. As far as see what Eddie would do, I'm sure, and I agree with Madam Clerk too. I'm sure, and I know Eddie fairly well. He priced this in as a package, being so close to bring his equipment down and do it. But if he will entertain us to do it for the same price, I have no issues with that. The question there about the landlocked that Councilor Mellon brought up, because I'm looking at the map here, and this William Mary owns right up to the bridge, as I can see it. So, like, they can access their property from that county road. What's county road at the back? 5. So, another question to you, Madam Clerk. If I see there was like $7,000 involved in survey and permits and lawyers and whatever, would that go on if we just gave the land to the farmer that's mentioned that wants the road allowance there, and they would take care of all the legal costs and nothing's coming back to the municipality? They pay the shot and we just give it to them for $1.
Correct. No, you're incorrect. We would pay for the, we would pay for the costs at this point.
Well, if you want that land, like it's $7,000, I don't think the farmer will mind paying that. Like, it's just, we're giving them the land for $1. I would go that ask the farmer about paying the expenses. Usually the buyer pays more than the seller anyways on any piece of property. So we're just saving them more money, and the farmer's getting, I don't know what the acreage we're laying up for Breeze Road, but I'm sure it's well worth the cost. That's it for now, Mayor Byros.
Okay, so before councilors, I see a few arms waving. I'm going to say a few words on this. When we had our discussion on these bridges, there was I thought, a very good discussion and a very worthwhile discussion, especially on the 9 Mile Bridge, to try to make some use out of it. But in the end, the liability costs, the cost to refurbish it, all those magnified any kind of use that we get out of them or anybody would get out of them. So we as a council decided to go down this route. We did have the liability of the roadway and the one owner with the low level crossing amplified that somewhat. So I think the clerk and our direct transportation have brought us a good proposal. I know that it's going to cost us money, but in the end, we'll get rid of 2 bridges. I don't see any reason why to not deal with the 9 Mile. That's just, they're there. Like, if you got a contractor now that will take them for an extremely reasonable price, they're gone. The headache's gone. The liability is gone. And I think liability, as we've been trained to know so well, is big. And all it takes is one accident, and you can try to save all the pennies you want, and they'll be gone, and plus, plus, plus. So as for the legal costs, I understand where Councillor Wells is coming from. However, I can play the devil's advocate and be that landowner and say, you're getting rid of a liability. That was what we wanted to do from a municipal point of view. So if you want to get rid of your liability, you give me the road, and then I land up taking on the liability, and I have to deal with it. We won't have to. And if you don't, then keep your road. Why would I take it? It's our responsibility. So we got to be fairly cognizant of the opposite side of this at the same time. So if we go back and say you're paying costs, and landowner says no, you can keep your road, we're back to square one. And I think this package, as presented tonight, and to be honest, I have done a lot of legwork to try to get this done, is good. It makes sense. Once it's done, we'll look back and say that was the wisest move we ever made on that piece of DeVries Road and the 2 bridges. So that's my 2 cents worth, and I'll go back to Councillor Mellon because he was waving, and then we'll go backwards around.
Thank you, Mayor Byvells. Yes, I agree that the agreement, I have no problem with the agreement. I do agree that we get rid of the one headache, DeVries Road, which is a major liability as far as I'm concerned. If, you know, if it's the flavor of council to take out the 9 Mile Bridge at the same time, you know, no financial savings or whatever, well then so be it. You know, and I do believe that, you know, we should incur the cost of the survey and the legal on the DeVries Road. As you've indicated, Mayor Byvells, like, I mean, you know, it's our road. Legally, I would question how we could stop up a road and landlock the Maracker land that is south of that main drain, because there's about 40 or 50 acres there that's the only way he can access it is off the DeVries Road. He can't access his land off the county road, that chunk of land, because he's got to get across the river. So you know, we would have a real issue in trying to you know, stop up that road and say nobody can use it. So this is the best case scenario. The landowners are all in agreement that they would do it. The Thurlers have to put a gate up to block, because from their insurance perspective, their liability issues, they have to put a gate up, and they have to have it locked. And he is willing to allow the one landowner in question and plus another landowner that uses that road to access land off of Snowbird Road. They don't have any land off the DeVries Road, but this is the best case scenario to get this out of the road and done with. And if we're going to have to, you know, if there was some savings there, if the contractor would take only one bridge at half price, but if, and I can see your point that he's probably not going to do it at half price, but yeah. Let's drive on with their report. I think this is probably the best case scenario we can hope for.
Councillor Wells.
Just one more question, or I guess, is to Councillor Mellon's. I don't know what the farmers' intentions are with this road as far as closing it, because like to allow Marackers to go in there, if the farmer, when it belongs to him, unless it's written that the road stays there, or if obviously it's Thurlers that's looking at this, intentions to take that roadway out and go in there and work that and have that as tillable land instead of there be no road at all. Or is he taking and he's leaving this whole road in there and just putting, is it all going to be in? I guess I addressed Madam Clerk, is there going to be in there that, okay, you block off that roadway, or does he have, if he wants to go in there with a high hoe and dig out all the gravel and put topsoil in and use it as tillable land? So I guess at the end of the day, till we see the final thing from our lawyers, what everything's set up, like I have no issues just giving the road to them, but we need to know if there's going to be road allowance if there's no road. So it comes down to Mirackers, if they come down, they'll have to use that dry crossing to get across to the property in order to cross the nation there. That's just something for thought. As far as the rest of it goes, like I'm for getting rid of all this, and even as like taking the other bridge out right now, because at one point, whether it's now or next year, we're only talking like $3,500. So that's the last for me. Thanks.
Madam Clerk.
Councillor Wells, the purchase and sale agreement will come back to council to be finalized, of course. And we'll have some of those clauses in there to appease those questions.
Anything
further from Deputy Mayor or Council Lewis? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the vote then, please.
Mayor Byvelds?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next report, CAO 2020-06, waiving of late payment fees of outstanding RSL accounts.
Moved by Councillor Lewis, second by Councillor Wells, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report CAO 2020-06 to provide direction to Rideau St. Lawrence Utilities to waive late payment fees on outstanding water and wastewater accounts for the South Dundas customers.
Shannon?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is just a follow-up from our last meeting in regards to waiving late payment charges for our water and wastewater. At that time, Council wanted staff to go back to RSL to look at the other shareholders and what their decisions were going to be on waiving it. I am happy to report that all three shareholders, Westport, Edwardsburg Cardinal, and the town of Prescott, are all in favor of waiving the late payment fees. And just start waiting on South Dundas to make a decision moving forward. As indicated, it is a decision that has to be made by everybody. So if one municipality does not want to go ahead with it, then it won't proceed. So just for council for budget, there's no budget implications on this decision. There's approximately $3,500 a month charged in interest or late payment fees. And that is kept with RSL on a monthly basis. And in turn, they remit what was actually billed through our water and wastewater. So with that, if council has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, start with Councillor Wells, please.
I have no issues with this. Like everyone's in favor for it. I definitely am. It'll help lower income and everyone. So I'm good. Thanks.
Councillor Mellon?
No, I agree with the report and drive on.
Councillor Lewis?
No questions.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
No questions.
Okay. CO Garrity?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. One thing I forgot to add is right now the tentative timeline for the late payment charges is 90 days. So amongst the CAOs within the shareholders, we will be discussing it further, and then we'll bring a report back to council. But right now, we're looking at about 90 days.
Okay. Anything further from any members of council on that information or anything else? Seeing none, I'll call the vote.
Mayor Byvelds?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next report, CAO 2020-07, water tower seal work for Morrisburg and Iroquois.
Moved by Councillor Mellon, second by Councillor Wells, that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report CAO 2020-07 to reject the tender from Landmark Municipal Services and direct staff to reissue the tender for the Morseburg and Iroquois water tower steelwork.
Neil Garrity.
Okay, thank you again, Mayor and Council. So if Council will recall, back in February, we did receive approval from the CWWF to rescope the work from a water tower replacement to a water tower rehab. At that time, we decided as a council to move forward and do some of the steel work that could be done under the allocation between the provincial and federal government. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the CWWF provided an opportunity to extend the timelines that were due. Originally, it was due by March 31st. We submitted a letter to that extent and actually got word today that the project has been extended to September of 2021. So what we're looking at, Council, tonight to do is we only received one tender. And in talking to Baracco, who did our inspection reports, thought the prices were quite high based on receiving one price. So what we're looking at doing is rejecting the tender, going back out to the tender, but as well as maybe looking at rescoping the project that we have more time and getting some more work done under the allocation that we have from the province and the federal government. Initially, we have about $350,000 to do some work. So in the report, it indicated about doing some cathodic protection as well. So we're going to look at adding a few more things in there to get a better price and do more work. So with that, if Council has any questions, I'll happy to answer them.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Gardner.
No, I'm comfortable with going at re-tender it. It's never a good thing if it comes back high and it comes back with only one. So let's try it again.
Council Lewis.
Well, as you know, Shannon, I was never a lover of one tender whenever we put something out. So I agree. We should re-tender it, and hopefully we'll get more bids on it.
Councilor Mellon.
Well, with that extension to September 2021, right, Shannon?
That's correct, Councilor Mellon.
Yeah, yeah, that gives us a little breathing room here, people, so we can get a tender out and hopefully get a re-tender and hopefully get some more competitive pricing. Re-tender it.
Councilor Wells.
No, I agree with all my colleagues. I'm in favor to reject this report and put it out for tender again. Thank you.
Okay, nothing further. Seeing none, call vote, please.
Mayor Byvelds?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. So we're moving on to bylaws. First bylaw tonight is 2020-35, 2020 final tax rates.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gardner, second by Councillor Mellon, that bylaw number 2020-35 being a bylaw to establish the 2020 municipal tax rates be read in open council, signed and sealed.
Sarah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is the bylaw to pass tax rates for 2020 so we can proceed with our final billing in June. As discussed, installment dates are end of August and end of October.
Any questions, comments from council on this? Seeing none, I'll call the vote then, please.
Mayor Byvelds?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Mellon?
Yes.
Councillor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next bylaw is 2020-36, Cornwall Gravel Contract Agreement.
Moved by Councillor Wells, second by Councillor Lewis. Bylaw number 2020-36, being a bylaw to enter into a contract agreement with Cornwall Gravel Company Limited for the Ontario Street reconstruction. Be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Shannon.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is just a follow-up in regards to our Cornwall Gravel contract. This is just the official agreement to move forward on the Ontario Street reconstruction. So with any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any comments, questions, concerns from any member of council? Seeing none, I'll call the vote then, please.
Mayor Byvelds?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Counselor Mellon,
Yes.
Counselor Wells.
Yes.
Motion passes. Move on to the consent agenda, please.
Moved by Counselor Wells, second by Counselor Lewis, that all items listed under the general consent section of the agenda be adopted as presented.
This evening, we have a letter from the Solicitor General concerning the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. We also have an update from the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks concerning the 2020 Day of Action for Litter update. We have a support letter for the food industry. We have an update from our representative from Rideau St. Lawrence, John Allison, on what's going on there. We have an excellent report from our drainage superintendent on what's going on with our municipal drains, and I will once again say that that was some money well spent. We have a key information report on the insurance renewal, which certainly is costing us more money. We also have a report from our integrity commissioner. We report concerning a community tree giveaway, and please stay tuned for that. And monthly activity reports from all our directors and staff. All heard the motion, those in favor? Oh, sorry. Call the vote, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Byveld,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor Lewis,
Yes.
Counselor Mellon. Counselor Mellon, are you there? Counselor Wells?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to boards, committees, and discussion items. First, move on to council reps, Deputy Mayor Gardner, and County Council. We did have a small meeting last week.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. So let's see, we had the South Branch road discussion about construction on the bridge. We did, sorry, it's like double screens. Let's see. So South Branch Bridge, we had that tender and we did approve it. We did discuss the regional waste management study, which has been given to a consulting firm. That's the study that we've all been waiting for about how we deal with waste in SDNG. And we did talk about, or approve rather, the supply of coarse rock salt. I think that, oh, and we did discuss traffic patterns during COVID-19, which was interesting.
Okay, just to follow up on the South Branch, if you don't mind, Mayor Gardner, for council's information, South Branch Bridge on County Road 16 north of Princeton will be rehabilitated this year to the cost of $1 million. In scoping that work, counties went for a full closure of that road and are going to be using South Dundas roads for detour routes. I did consult with our director of transportation before the meeting because we didn't really have a good route set up, and in talking with that, we are trying to drive as much traffic off 16 before they get on 16 as possible. However, some of the detour route will encompass some South Dundas roads, mainly Hulbert Road as the alternative due to the fact that it's one of our better roads going that way instead of Kirker. The initial one was Kirker and Taylor and back to Gilmer, so that was a no-no right from the start. So counties are full aware that we are concerned about our roadways, and we will be doing some scoping of our roadways before and after. And we'll be asking all truck traffic to continue on county roads and talking to the main trucking firms, especially Jed up in on County Road 3 to continue down up to County Road 1 instead of County Road 16. So with that, though, I will call on our Director of Transportation maybe to make a few comments on that, please.
So yes, Mayor, I did have a conversation with Ben at the counties, and to follow up with that, I had another conversation with Grant at the counties also. very good discussion with them. When it comes to Hulbert Road, we are going to do a pre-construction drive as well as take a video of Hulbert Road, just so we have a documentation of what the road was pre-construction. Once construction is completed, we will then take another drive with another video to have on files for any damages which could have occurred or which would have occurred during the construction period. Hulbert Road will go to County Road 1, which will then go south on County Road 1, and it will come back across Gilmer Road, or they can use the county road, which brings them into Dixon's Corners as their detour route. So we definitely have full intentions of keeping people off of Fulton Road, keeping them off of Kirker Road, and trying to keep them off of Taylor. But again, at the end of the day, signs are only signs. We will sign it to the best of our abilities and hope for the best.
And then coming from the south, Gilmer and 18 will be the preferred route. So anyway, I knew that Councilor Mellon is going to have some concerns on this, and justifiably so. So go ahead, Councilor Mellon.
Thank you, Mayor Byvells. Yeah, the length of the construction period, how long do they figure 16 is going to be closed? They have
My recollection was near November. 80 is 90 days, so from start to finish it was 90 days if all goes well. So.
Okay. Like any traffic that might want to be going southeast could be also, well, they should be using County Road 5, I would think anyway, but the Snowbird might catch the traffic too. And then up through Toys Hill, but obviously Hulbert would be a more direct road. I guess I'll just have to look twice before I cross Hulbert Road. I'm glad we're taking into consideration the wear and tear that Hulbert Road may take over this. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, it is what it is.
The counties will save some dollars because of lack of traffic control there, and so I would speculate is probably $50,000 to $100,000 in cost savings to the counties. They've done this they've just started doing this basically, and the bridge on County Road 2 east of Cornwall that goes over, I can't remember the name, but it goes out by Raisin River Conservation. They're actually closing that bridge also too to do work on and using Boundary and Tile Hill Road and other roads. So we're not a precedent. We're basically number 2. As long as the counties work with us, I think it's not a bad plan. We just got to make sure that we keep the traffic down to a minimum, especially truck traffic. So, any other comments from the other councilors on that one? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. To save a lot of headaches, do any councilors have any reports on any meetings? As I thought, I know it's been a challenging time, so. Okay, no notices of motion tonight, Madam Clerk?
No.
Okay, so before we move into our closed session this evening, I will first of all inform the audience that once we go off into our closed session and pass that motion, we will not come back after. The only 2 businesses that we will 3 parts of business we will partake will be coming out of closed, having a ratification bylaw and our adjournment. So with this, at this time, I'd like to thank council so far, thank staff for all their work, and I'd like to thank the audience out there on Facebook Live. I certainly hope that you are fulfilled with seeing your council at work. I know it's certainly more popular than coming to a council meeting, but maybe when we do go back into our regular meetings, this generates some excitement for council meetings in South Dundas. So with that, thank you. I'll move the over to Madam Clerk again, please.
Moved by Counselor Lewis, Mayor Gardner, that council proceed in camera in order to address a matter pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employee.
Call the vote.
Mayor Kleinfelds,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gardner,
Yes.
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 Counselor Wells.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone. See you on the other side.